The first scream split the silence of the midnight forest. Ravens scattered into the moonlight as if the night itself had torn apart. Elara, clutching her lantern, froze. She had come here searching for herbs to heal her father's fever, but what she found instead was destiny waiting in the shadows. The forest was feared for a reason. Every villager whispered that beyond its black trees, monsters roamed, creatures born of ancient wars. Yet Elara stepped forward, because love for her father was stronger than fear. Her breath misted in the cold night air as the scream came again, low-pained, almost sorrowful. And then she saw it. A dragon. Its body stretched across the ruined glade, black scales glinting like shards of obsidian under the moon. Its wings were torn, one bent at an unnatural angle. Blood as dark as oil seeped into the moss. Its golden eyes flickered open, fixing on her like twin suns burning through fog. Elara stumbled back, heart pounding. Every story she had ever heard screamed inside her mind. Dragons kill. Dragons burn. Dragons do not spare. But this one looked broken. Leave human, the dragon rasped, its voice like thunder buried under stone. The forest will eat you alive. Her instincts screamed to run. Yet when she saw the great beast struggling to breathe, a strange compassion rooted her feet. Elara stepped closer, lifting the lantern. "You're hurt," she whispered. The dragon bared its teeth weakly. "Your kind hunts mine. Why do you care?" Elara swallowed hard. "Because my father taught me to heal, not to turn away." For a long, heavy silence, the forest seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a groan, the dragon lowered its head. A test. A surrender. Elara dropped to her knees beside its wounded flank. Her hands shook as she pulled herbs from her pouch, crushing leaves into a paste. She pressed it against the torn scales, expecting fire, death, anything, but instead the dragon only hissed softly, like rain against embers. As she worked, the night deepened. Wolves prowled at the edge of the clearing, drawn by the scent of blood. Their eyes glowed yellow, circling closer. Elara's heart jumped. Alone, she would be torn apart in moments. The dragon lifted its head, eyes blazing. "Behind me." Elara obeyed, clutching her lantern. The wolves leapt. With a roar that shook the stars, the dragon unfurled its broken wing, sweeping fire across the ground. Flames lit the clearing like dawn, driving the pack shrieking into the dark. The power, even wounded, was terrifying, and yet it shielded her. When silence returned, Elara realized she was shaking, not from fear but awe. "Why protect me?" she asked. The dragon's golden eyes met hers. "Because you protected me." Something shifted then. Fear gave way to a bond she could not explain, like a thread tying her heart to his. For hours she worked, cleaning his wounds, binding torn flesh with cloth ripped from her own cloak. The dragon watched her with an intensity that made her feel seen in a way no human ever had. Finally, exhaustion pulled at her bones. She leaned against his warm side, her lantern flickering low. The dragon's chest rose and fell beneath her cheek, thunderous but steady. "You have courage, girl," the dragon murmured. "A name." "Elara," she whispered, half asleep. "Elara," the dragon repeated, as if tasting the sound. "I am Kalar." By dawn, the bond was sealed. Days passed. Elara returned each night, bringing food, herbs, water. Slowly, Kalar's strength returned. And with it, stories. He spoke of skies beyond the mountains, of fire that once lit kingdoms, of humans and dragons who had fought side by side before betrayal ended it all. "You were enemies," Elara said one night, frowning. Kalar's gaze burned into hers. "We could be allies again. If there are still humans brave enough to see us not as monsters, but as brothers." She felt the truth in his words, though fear lingered. The world was cruel. Her village would never accept him. Yet when she looked into his eyes, she saw not a beast, but a soul. One evening, soldiers came. Word had spread of fire in the forest. They marched with spears and torches, determined to slay whatever monster lurked inside. Elara's heart raced as she ran ahead of them, desperate to warn Kayla. "You must flee," she cried, breathless. Kayla's massive head lowered, brushing close. "And leave you? Never." The soldiers burst into the glade, weapons raised. Shouts filled the air. Kayla roared, flames dancing along his teeth, but before the first spear flew, Elara stepped between them. "Stop," she screamed. "He is not your enemy." The soldiers froze, stunned. Behind her, Kayla loomed, every muscle ready to strike. The world seemed balanced on the edge of a knife. Elara's voice shook, but she stood tall. "I have seen his heart. He saved me, not once, but many times. If you kill him, you kill honor itself." For a moment, silence ruled. Then slowly, Kayla folded his wings, lowering his head to her side like a vow. The soldiers looked between girl and dragon, uncertain. None dared move. In that fragile dawn, under the shadows of the ancient forest, a new bond was born, one that might yet heal the rift between their worlds. Elara laid her hand upon Kayla's scaled cheek, her eyes fierce with promise. "Whatever comes, we face it together." The dragon rumbled low, a sound like mountains shifting. "Together." And in the forest where fear once ruled, hope took flight.